हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He's accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Republic TV this Saturday. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. Let's get started with the top story that we're tracking.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
AIMS team to depart for Bhopal for Tisha's second autopsy to be conducted tomorrow. Police in court tells the judge that Samarth Singh is not cooperating, seeks 7-day custody. Let's cut straight to the top story that we're tracking, viewers. Let's move out of the headlines and let's come to the big story on the Tisha Sharma case, viewers. Husband Samarth Singh had been arrested last evening and he has been produced in Bhopal court today. Police in fact said that Samarth Singh is not cooperating in investigation. Senior doctors will be conducting second post-mortem of Tisha Sharma tomorrow. All right, we have big breaking news coming in from the court. The latest update first on Republic TV. 7-day custody to the police granted by the court. Samarth has been sent to 7-day police remand. And that's the breaking news we have right now. Samarth Singh sent to 7-day police custody. We'll connect with our reporters from the courts and outside the court as well. Husband of Tisha Sharma is a criminal advocate, criminal lawyer himself. Been on the run for 10 days, and yesterday he turned up in the Jabalpur court, and then he was taken to Bhopal court, and today he has been sent to 7-day police custody. So viewers, first, the second post-mortem will be taking place tomorrow, and the second big update is that Samarth Singh has been sent to 7-day police remand. That's the big update we're getting in right now. Very, very important development as far as the Tisha death case is concerned. Big breaking news coming in from Bhopal. Samarth remanded to 7-day police custody. You can see the visuals of Samarth Singh today. Yesterday he was covering his face with the face mask, and today he continues to cover his neck for some reason. And you can see him, the visuals of Samarth Singh when he was being taken to court. And let's just cut across to our reporters who are getting us those details live from Bhopal. Right now, viewers, this trouble is of course mounting for Samarth Singh. News tightening around Tisha Sharma's husband Samarth Singh. And after he's produced in court, police sought a 7-day remand, and they've been granted the 7-day custody. Shambhavi joins us from the court. Shambhavi, tell us more details. What happened in court? The police get 7-day custody.
Yes, Rakshita. Officially now the court has sent Samarth for 7 days of police remand, and that is exactly what the police has been asking. That was exact prayer of the police in the court, although there was some resistance from the opposition. For the argument, the main argument was the police saying that they need to have Samarth in their custody so that they can interrogate him, they can investigate where he has been for all those 10 days, what he has been doing, who all other people with whom he's been associated or he's been talking to, where was he hiding all these 10 days. So all these details needs to be investigated. That is why this was the main argument that police had given in the court, to which the opposition argued, saying that whatever information you want, whatever documents you want, we have all of it. Whenever you want it, you can take it. So there is no need of police custody. But again, now the decision has come in the favor of the police, and that the police has been given a remand for 7 days of summer. Rakshita.
It's a big update. 7-day police custody granted by the court. Live visuals coming in right now. Live visuals coming in from outside the court. Police taking Samarth Singh. You can see police taking Samarth Singh in that van.
और ये पुलिस की गाड़ी यहाँ कोर्ट कॉम्प्लेक्स से बाहर निकलती हुई आप देखिए, जिला सत्र न्यायालय भोपाल, यहाँ से पुलिस की गाड़ी निकल चुकी है। 7 दिन की रिमांड जो है वो यहाँ पर पुलिस टीम के द्वारा मांगी गई थी, और 7 दिन की रिमांड जो है वो यहाँ पर जो है वो दी गई है, जिसकी तस्वीरें लगातार हम आपको दिखा रहे थे। और जब हम कोर्ट कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर मौजूद थे, S17 कोर्ट में जो है पेशी हुई थी यहाँ पर समर्थ सिंह की। लेकिन आपको बता दें, देखिए कि किस तरीके से समर्थ जो है वो मुस्कुराते हुए अपने वकीलों से बात कर रहा था। जो उसकी वकील की टीम थी उससे वो मुस्कुरा कर बात कर रहा था। उसके चेहरे पर डर बिल्कुल भी नहीं था, गम बिल्कुल भी नहीं था, जो कि साफ तौर पर बता रहा था कि किस तरीके से समर्थ जो है उसे किसी भी तरीके का गम नहीं है कि उसकी पत्नी की मौत हो गई है। और लगातार इस पूरे मामले को लेकर जिस तरीके से रिपब्लिक मीडिया लगातार ये तस्वीरें जो है दिखाता रहा है। आपको एक बार गेट फिर से दिखाएंगे, हम आपको गेट एक बार फिर से दिखाएंगे। आप ये गेट देख सकते हैं किस तरीके से ये वही गेट है जहां से समर्थ सिंह को लेकर जाया गया था। रिपब्लिक मीडिया ने भी सबसे पहले, रिपब्लिक भारत ने सबसे पहले ये तस्वीरें जो है अपने दर्शकों को दिखाई थी कि किस तरीके से इसी गेट से जो है समर्थ सिंह को लेकर जाया गया था। लेकिन रिपब्लिक भारत के सवालों से, रिपब्लिक मीडिया के सवालों से समर्थ जो है बचता हुआ नजर आया। उसने सवालों का जवाब नहीं दिया और अब जो उसे 7 दिन की रिमांड दे दी गई है। और जो समर्थ सिंह है वो अब यहाँ से जा चुका है, पुलिस की टीम उसे लेकर जा चुकी है। अब समर्थ सिंह से सवाल जवाब जो है वो किए जाएंगे। लेकिन यहाँ पर ये बड़ी अपडेट, बड़ी खबर निकलकर जिस तरीके से सामने आई है जी, 7 दिन की यहाँ पर रिमांड जो है वो अब स्वीकार कर ली गई है। पुलिस की टीम ने 7 दिन की रिमांड जो है मांगी थी। उस वक्त कोर्ट रूम में हम लोग मौजूद थे जब पुलिस की टीम ने 7 दिन की रिमांड मांगी, तो जज ने अपना फैसला सुरक्षित रख लिया था। जज ने ये कहा कि समर्थ सिंह को मौका दिया जाएगा उसके वकीलों से बातचीत करने का। इसके बाद समर्थ सिंह जो है वो अपने वकीलों से बातचीत,
अब वो सभी ने देखा, वो हंस रहे थे। अब उनने क्या करा है नहीं करा है पुलिस निकालेगी 7 दिन के अंदर। और पासपोर्ट के संबंध में प्रोसीडिंग हुई थी। उनके वकील साहब ने आज अपना पासपोर्ट भी जमा कर दिया जो आरोपी है उसका। और बाकी 3 एप्लीकेशन हैं जो पेंडिंग है, जो प्रिजर्वेशन के संबंध में हमने लगाई थी जो नंबर के लिए, उसके लिए अभी 29 तारीख लगी है।
10 दिनों तक कहाँ रुके थे, कोई जानकारी उन्होंने
अभी कुछ नहीं दिया। अब इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगा और इसमें 10 दिन तक वो किसके संरक्षण में थे, अगर कोई सरकारी लोग इसमें इन्वॉल्व है जिनके पास वो थे तो उसके लिए भी प्रोसीडिंग है, उसके लिए भी सजा इन्वेस्टिगेटिव।
हम आपको सिर्फ इतना बता सकते हैं कि कल हमने उनको शाम को 5:30 पौने 6 बजे डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड सेशन जज जबलपुर के कोर्ट नंबर 32 में से दरवाज़ा खुलवा करके हमने जब चेक करा तो वो वहाँ पर बैठे हुए थे और वहाँ पे 3 उनके बाबू थे। जब मैंने उनसे पूछा कि ये व्यक्ति कौन है तो पहले उन्होंने बोला कि हम नहीं जानते कौन है, और फिर ये वहाँ से उठ के भागे। जब मैं ऊपर जा रहा था और जो हमारे जबलपुर के कलीग हैं एडवोकेट पीयूष तिवारी, वो मेरे साथ थे। जब हम दौड़ते हुए ऊपर जा रहे थे, जब हमें पता चला कि उस कोर्ट में हो सकते हैं, तो मीडिया के जो आप लोग के सारे साथी थे जबलपुर के, वो हमारे पीछे पीछे आ गए। और चूंकि वो कोर्ट रूम के दरवाजे के बाहर मीडिया खड़ी हो गई थी, इसीलिए जब इन्होंने वहां से भागने की कोशिश करी, और जब इन्होंने भागने की कोशिश करी तो पहले मैंने इनको रोका। मैंने बोला आप लॉयर हैं, आपके ऊपर प्राइज मनी है, आपको प्रॉपर तरीके से सरेंडर करना चाहिए। तो इन्होंने वहाँ पे सरेंडर नहीं किया और ये भागे, और बाहर इनके कई सारे लॉयर्स आए जो हम लोगों के साथ और मीडिया पर्सन्स के साथ सबके साथ धक्का मुक्की करते हुए इनको सबको वहाँ से ले गए। और जो बिल्डिंग है वो काफ़ी लंबी, हम फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे थे, वहाँ से सेकंड नीचे उतारा इन्होंने। नीचे उतार करके फिर ये बाजू वाली बिल्डिंग में, मुझे ऐसा बताया गया क्योंकि जबलपुर कोर्ट का मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन एक कमरा है जहाँ पर जो बताया गया कि बार एसोसिएशन के अध्यक्ष का कमरा है। मैं वहाँ के बार एसोसिएशन को नहीं जानता हूँ, अध्यक्ष को भी नहीं जानता हूँ। मुझे ये भी नहीं पता है कि जिस व्यक्ति के बारे में बोला गया कि ये बार एसोसिएशन का अध्यक्ष है, वो अध्यक्ष ही थे कि नहीं थे। लेकिन उस कमरे में लेके जब गए तो मैं और मीडिया पर्सन्स उस कमरे में जब गए तब वहाँ भी हम लोग के साथ धक्का मुक्की हुई और वहाँ से हमें बाहर निकालने की कोशिश हुई। तो मैंने उनको बोला कि आप भी वकील हैं, हम भी वकील हैं, अगर आप समर्थ के वकील हैं और हम त्रिशा के वकील हैं और ये यहाँ पे बैठे हैं तो अब इसके बाद आप पुलिस को आ जाने दीजिए, इनको सरेंडर करें। तो हमारे साथ बहुत बदतमीजी हुई, गाली गलौच हुई, ना सिर्फ मेरे साथ, जितने वहाँ पे मीडिया पर्सन्स थे उनके साथ भी हुई। और फिर उस कमरे के अंदर जो चैम्बर था उस चैम्बर में ले जाकर उनको बंद कर दिया गया और हम सबको धक्का मार के उस हॉल से बाहर निकाल दिया गया। और उस हॉल I definitely don't know whether those persons were really lawyers or they were in disguise, some other goons presenting themselves to be the lawyers, क्योंकि जितनी गंदी भाषा, abusive language और जितनी धक्का मुक्की, मैं भी लॉयर हूँ, I was in dress, हम ड्रेस में थे और जिस तरीके से हमारे साथ व्यवहार हुआ है मुझे अपने दिल में विश्वास नहीं हो रहा है कि वो लोग जहाँ वहाँ पे थे वो वास्तव में वकील थे। आई रियली डोंट नो बिकॉज आई डोंट दे आर नॉट नोन पर्सन्स टू मी, तो मैं नहीं जानता हूँ कि वो वकील थे कि नहीं थे। Yesterday he was wearing a cap, he was wearing अंकुर रहो यहीं पे, he was wearing a cap, he was wearing sunglasses और एक कपड़ा भी वो डाले हुए थे, तो फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस कल तो नहीं दिख रहे थे, बट एवरी अटेम्प्ट वाज टू रन अवे। नाउ माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट हमें पहले ये बताया गया कि वो डीजे साहब की कोर्ट में गए थे और डीजे साहब ने उनको ये बोला, हमको ये पता चला इस बात की, मुझे बिल्कुल जानकारी नहीं कि ऐसा हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ, लेकिन डीजे साहब, मुझे बताया गया कि डीजे साहब ने बोला कि आपको भोपाल में जाके सरेंडर करना चाहिए। लेकिन जो एक पिक्चर उस समय की जो सर्कुलेट हो रही है उसमें वो ऐसी चेयर्स पे बैठे हैं जो कोर्ट रूम में वकीलों के लिए होती है बैठने के लिए। अब मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि कोर्ट रूम में वो वकीलों की उस पे कैसे बैठे थे, उनको कटघरे में क्यों नहीं खड़ा रखा गया? और यदि ऐसा हुआ है, अगर इफ इट हैज सो हैपेंड दैट द डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज रिफ्यूज टू टेक द रिमांड टू टेक हिम इनटू सरेंडर, तो उनको उसको कटघरे में खड़ा करके और कस्टडी में लेना था और लोकल पुलिस को बुला करके उसको हैंडओवर करना था। जब मैं अंदर गया हूं और मैंने बाबुओं से बोला, मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जब ये अकेले बैठे हैं, लाइट्स ऑफ थी, एसी चल रहा था और पंखे चल रहे थे, तो मुझे लगा कि शायद डीजे साहब ने इनको कस्टडी में रखा है। तो मैंने कहा आप साहब को अंदर से बुलाइए, तो बोले साहब तो घर जा चुके। जब मैंने बोला आप तक
Was an hour-long meeting between Marco Rubio and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has concluded, and the first pictures of that meeting coming in. In fact, also another report comes in is that Marco Rubio personally has, in fact, there is even the ambassador to Ambassador Sergio Gore has written that Marco Rubio has extended an invite on behalf of Trump for Prime Minister to visit the White House in the near future. That's the big update as well. So breaking news coming in right now. So that's the big update we have right now. Rubio meeting the Prime Minister and the Secretary of State meeting the Prime Minister and extending an invite on behalf of Donald Trump for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit the White House. So we can see that there have been back-to-back such visits, solidarity visits also from United States after there was a trade standoff, the tariff standoff between Washington, D.C. and New Delhi. But we see this resetting of ties that has been going on, with now Rubio also coming in, and envoy Sergio Gore has been now, in fact, is sharing the details of this critical meeting. Sergio Gore says, and I quote, "Great to join Rubio for a meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We had a productive discussion on ways to deepen US-India cooperation across security." Cooperation from across security trade. Senior Executive Head Abhishek Kapoor is joining us on the broadcast for more. Abhishek, well, the first pictures of that meeting between Rubio and Modi are coming in, and we also know that Rubio has invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi on behalf of Donald Trump.
Well, yes, Rakshita, and all information as of now seems to be coming from Twitter-friendly U.S. Ambassador Sergio Gore. We are yet to hear from the Ministry of External Affairs. And so there are obviously sticking points in the present insofar as the larger India-United States relationship is concerned. And it is expected that there would be a reset following some frank and fair discussion face-to-face that happens. First, of course, this is a courtesy call, remember, between Prime Minister Modi and the visiting Secretary of State, and he's extended an invite on behalf of President Trump for Prime Minister to visit White House, possibly when Prime Minister goes for the UNGA, which happens typically in the month of September. But what is important is that as of now, the focus is on getting the India-United States relationship on an even keel. And so the actual meat of the or the substance of the visit would be tomorrow when Rubio sits with Jai Shankar at the Hyderabad House and those delegations talk. And while the agenda, insofar as the Americans are concerned, seems to be clear that they want India off Russian oil and more dependent on the US oil or by proxy Venezuelan oil, there are other issues. So, for example, the indulgence of late that we have seen with Pakistan under the second Trump administration. So, obviously, that's going to be a significant watch out insofar as the takeaways from this ongoing visit is concerned or are concerned. But also significantly, Rakshita, this latest development that all those who have green cards in the United States, they have to go back to their country of origin. It's not specific to India, but still they have to go back to their country of origin to review or renew their visas. That's also one new ticklish issue that has come up. So obviously mobility would be one important issue to be discussed between the two sides, hopefully tomorrow.
Right. That's, of course, very, very significant, as you pointed out. But we've seen that also, if you could just shed some light on many questions are raised that why Rubio chose to, first go up to Kolkata. The timing also is under scandal. Before he met the Prime Minister, he visited Kolkata. So if you could just shed some more light and context to that.
Well, you see, Kolkata, once upon a time, was the capital of British India. And even before the Crown took over of the East India Company. And so the Americans set up their first consulate, and that was second consulate anywhere in the world in Kolkata. That was sometime in 1790s and 1792 to be precise. And that's and because the United States is marking 250 years of its independence from the British, there was an event and for which Marco Rubio wanted to, or the State Department wanted their secretary to be there. Now, what is important is, Rakshita, that by making it a multi-city visit between Kolkata and Delhi and in between Jaipur and Agra, I send a message that they really want to bring the relationship back because there has been certain coldness, certain frost, particularly post-Operation Sindoor. And that's why I said the substance of the visit would be tomorrow when the two respective foreign ministers, external affairs minister S. Jaishankar on our side and Rubio, of course, on the American side meet and, thrash out what's really going on. For God's sake, can we get the relationship back on track, derailed as it seems, and almost 2 decades of hard work gone? So I think there would be some, that's an occasion when actually frank and fair conversation should happen between the two sides. And India has a long list, obviously Americans too. And then, of course, the Quad, which is happening on Tuesday, that's 26th.
Absolutely. So this is the first visual for all those tuning in right now. Abhishek, also the fact that Washington, D.C. has been, scrambling for support after that shaky ceasefire that is right now in place. It's trying to get as many people on its side because it needs to support. And of course, India is a country where we see that it has ties, steady ties with Iran as well as, the other countries in West Asia. And, in that context also, in a broad context also, given what's happening in West Asia, India becomes a very, very important partner.
Well, good question you ask, Rakshita. In fact, Marco Rubio is coming from Sweden to India, and that was his first stop after flying out of the United States. And it's important because in Sweden, he had a meeting with the NATO countries. Sweden is, in fact, a new entrant to NATO. And there, the Americans surprisingly announced that they're bolstering their contribution to NATO with 5,000 troops allocated to Poland itself. And so, while it is very typical of the Trump administration to say something one day and do absolutely opposite of that the next day, and that seems to be the case in terms of the engagement with NATO. While President Trump says one day NATO is absolutely ineffective and we are going out, and the next day announces bolstering of troops for NATO and bring much cheer amongst the Europeans. What is important is that the Americans are stuck, and they are stuck badly in the Iran war, and they really don't know how to get out of it, despite all the backdoor machinations of a guy called General Field Marshal Asim Munir. So I think the Americans know that India is one factor of stability in the geography, and while Pakistan might have some transactional utility, and that's in fact a grudge list on the side of India, that while you are being absolutely transactional with Pakistan, it is helping their terror ecosystem get some semblance of respect, and that terror ecosystem includes the Pakistan Army and the ISI. So I think that's why I said that it's very important that a free and frank conversation happens between Rubio and Jaishankar tomorrow, both in the restricted format, one-on-one, and the delegation talks, and something comes out of this so that India-United States relationship is back on track. Americans, of course, for one, they know the way their President Trump was treated in Beijing, not exactly with any kind of deference. To the contrary, it seemed like for the first time, perhaps, President Trump was deferential to somebody, and that was Xi Jinping. And after coming out of Beijing...
Abhishek, I have to interrupt you. Just stay on with us. We have a tweet coming in from Narendra Modi, posted on X. And I quote him here, happy to receive the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. We discussed sustained progress in the India-U.S. Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership and issues related to regional and global peace and security. India and the United States will continue to work closely for the global good. So discuss sustained progress and global strategic partnership, as we were in fact talking about just that with Abhishek. So Abhishek, we're getting in more and more visuals. Prime Minister Modi also posting pictures from the meeting, a close-up, and of course stressing on the part of global peace and security being on agenda as far as this meeting is concerned. He's not talked about anything else, but he's talked about global peace and security.
I mean, David, as far as American talking points are concerned, they want oil and energy security to be discussed, by which they mean India's energy security for them is buying more American oil. And that's something which Marco Rubio made it clear from Miami itself when he flew out of the United States, saying we want to sell them oil and as much as India can buy. But and in fact, just about 5 days back, we had the Americans extending the waiver to purchase Russian oil by a month. But what is important is that obviously a pivoting to purchase of American oil is happening, but there are certain infrastructural limitations that perhaps would be part of the agenda and discussion so far as Americans are concerned. So far as India is concerned, Rakshita, it's, we want our freedom to purchase the cheapest possible oil. We want the Strait of Hormuz to be normalized in the soonest possible time so that our oil and gas starts coming in from the Gulf. And we had Prime Minister visiting UAE just last week, and we signed a deal with them for strategic reserves right there in situ there in UAE. But for that to be evacuated, we need a calm to prevail, peace to prevail in the Gulf and the Strait. And the Americans are not letting that happen. So obviously, if the Americans can pull back from the Iran war, it helps India and of course rest of the world. But we are concerned about ourselves as of now, and we would want the war to end soon. So obviously, this would be an opportunity to get in, to hear the Americans, and to, given the fact that Prime Minister just returned from UAE and has been engaging between Prime Minister and Jaishankar, India has been engaging with every nation involved in this war, including the Israelis, including the Emiratis, including the Saudis, including the Iranians. Perhaps very few countries and their leadership which can engage with both the sides apart from Pakistan. But unfortunately, Pakistan, the kind of legitimacy they have got, it's not a grudge list, but the overall conduct of the Americans post-Op Sindoor is something which perhaps would or should come up rather when S. Jaishankar and Rubio meet tomorrow.
Absolutely, that will be very, very important. But also, I want to talk about it's been touted as a reset in the ties. But how do you, assess the reception of Marco Rubio? He was, in fact, he was received by the MEA Additional Secretary. We mostly would see a minister or a top-level politician, receiving him. So, do you feel that it was a lukewarm welcome?
No, you see, reset is something which is expected. It's not exactly that just because the Secretary of State is coming, a reset happens. It will ultimately depend on how the talks go and what is the American shopping list and what's the Indian shopping list and how the two match. But it's about breaking ice. It's about meeting face to face. It's about, remember the fact that India is hosting Quad this time. And it's been in the limbo, and the leaders have not been able to meet. The leadership summit has not happened because one, President Trump is so busy that he cannot even attend his son's wedding. Forget about attending Quad summit, but otherwise also the way the United States has pivoted to the Pakistani side post Op Sindoor is a sticking point. So I think before a reset happens, you have to see. When the two leaders come face to face, what's the intent like? What's the plan like? How to take it forward? Is there even a thinking going on in Washington, D.C. and specifically Foggy Bottom that the India-U.S. relationship needs to be brought back on track? And on that point, I think Marco Rubio is seen as someone who's more level-headed, more reasonable, understands the larger dynamics of diplomacy. Remember, he was once a challenger of Trump and a possible successor also in the troika of J.D. Vance, Rubio, and one of the troika of the J.D. Vance, Rubio, and Hegseth, insofar as Trump's succession is concerned. So I think in that sense, Rubio can legitimately lay claim to being the leader who can really sort it out if he chooses to and bring India-United States relationship from the morass it's been in since Op Sindoor. So that's something which would be closely watched in New Delhi, in Washington, D.C., and world capitals as to how the India-U.S. dynamics are going to go on from here on, provided whatever understandings are reached and Rubio is able to communicate them as cogently as possible back to White House. And the White House is also on board, and evidence of which is in the fact that Rubio has carried an invite from President Trump for Prime Minister Modi. So it seems there is a plan already.
Right, Abhishek, right. Many thanks for joining us, giving us a sense of the significance of this meeting. In the meantime, we have breaking news coming in on Taiwan. Taiwan has claimed that over 100 Chinese ships have entered its territorial waters. Taiwan has reported massive Chinese naval build-up, over 100 warships deployed across First Island chain. If we have Abhishek, we can in fact go across to him also on this. Taiwan's National Security Council Chief Joseph Wu saying that China has deployed over 100 vessels, including the Navy and Coast Guard ships across the First Island chain from the Yellow Sea to the South China Sea. So this is viewers coming in from Taiwan. This is a big claim that has been made by Taiwan. There has been also a lot of messaging coming in from Trump also on Taiwan, remember. And viewers, with that, we will be slipping into a very, very short break. But don't go anywhere, viewers. Republic TV continues with our extensive coverage on the Tisha death case, the autopsy botch-up. There is, of course, steps being taken in direction of delivering justice. The second autopsy is going to happen tomorrow, much likely. And Samaj Singh has been sent to police custody, 7-day police custody. We'll get you more on that, but after this very short break. Thanks for watching.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Character, the taste of success.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Tisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Tisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Tisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Tisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Tisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the ex-judge, walks up calmly while the body is being dragged down and evidence is being destroyed before the judge's eyes. Is that normal? Why don't the judges raise a hue and cry about it? Why don't the appellate courts take up this case suo moto? So people don't start believing that when an ex-judge is concerned, the victim will never get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the ex-judge carrying in her hand when she went down? Where is all the CCTV footage? Did the police collect it? Why did the ex-judge's son Samarth Singh escape after bringing the body of his wife to AIMS? Is it true that the ex-judge's son's medical examination was not conducted?
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Accused Samarth Singh sent to 7-day police custody. Second autopsy for Tisha likely to take place tomorrow. Medical board comprising of 4 senior doctors to conduct the second post-mortem to emplain this evening. Operation Sheruvali is underway in Jammu and Kashmir. Army says contact established with terrorists in the valley. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi, invites Prime Minister to the White House on behalf of President Donald Trump. Very warm welcome. You're watching Republic. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. We start with the updates coming in from the Bhopal court, where Samarth Singh, the husband of Tisha Sharma, who has been absconding for 10 days, finally he has been arrested last evening and now today produced in court, sent to 7-day police custody. And the police in court told the judge today that he has not been cooperating with them for the investigation. 7-day police remand was sought and it was granted by the court. Meanwhile, the senior doctors, there will be a team of senior doctors who will be conducting a second post-mortem of Tisha Sharma tomorrow, as it was given a go-ahead just yesterday in the Jabalpur court. AIMS doctors will be departing this evening at 6 p.m. for Bhopal. So these are the visuals that we are playing today that came in. His heavy security ring there around Samarth Singh, and he was hiding his face yesterday, today partially, and then we saw him there. Today, he was rushed inside the courtroom. He was rushed out from the medical examination center that was in the hospital. And of course, we have now reactions coming in from Tisha's family. Tisha's brother has also reacted in the latest. Listen in.
ये पहला स्टेप हुआ था, अब ये सेकंड स्टेप हो चुका है इसमें। जब अब ये अपना सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि सीबीआई इसी दौरान इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन को इंटरवीन करे और चार्ज ले इसमें, बिकॉज ये रिमांड से इट इज स्टिल अंडर द सेम अथॉरिटीज विच वी आर चैलेंजिंग। तो जितनी जल्दी सीबीआई इसमें इंटरवीन करती है उतना ही ज्यादा अच्छा है।
आज भी एम्स डॉक्टरों की दिल्ली की टीम नहीं पहुंची,
अभी तक कोई कंफर्मेशन नहीं आया है एंड वी आर स्टिल वेटिंग फॉर दैट कंफर्मेशन।
अगर आज शाम तक पहुंच जाती जो हमारे पास इन्फो की 6:30 बजे तक एम्स दिल्ली की टीम पहुंचेगी, तो क्या रात में ही आप चाहते हैं कि सेकंड पीएम हो जाए?
जी, जल्द से जल्द होना चाहिए। ये अभी डॉक्टर्स हैं, वो एक्सपर्ट हैं जो इस फील्ड के आ रहे हैं एंड दे विल मेक द राइट डिसीजन।
आज या कल सुबह पीएम हो जाता है तो अंतिम संस्कार भोपाल में करेंगे या दिल्ली में?
जी, अभी ये दिस इज समथिंग जो अभी फैमिली डिस्कशन चल रहे हैं, तो वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू कमेंट ऑन इट।
लेकिन आपको लगता है कि ये जो पूरा घटनाक्रम है, इसके बाद जिस तरह से अब सीबीआई टेक ओवर करने वाली केस, तो अब आपको जस्टिस मिलेगा?
बिल्कुल हमारी आशा है और वी आर होपफुल फॉर दैट। दैट इज द रीजन सीबीआई एक ऐसी इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी है जिस पे भरोसा सबको है, बिकॉज उनके पास्ट हमेशा अच्छा रहा है। जितने भी उन्होंने केसेस टेकअप किए हैं, दे हैव गॉटन द राइट जस्टिस एंड वी आर होपिंग फॉर द सेम। ये पहला स्टेप हुआ था, अब ये सेकंड स्टेप हो चुका है इसमें। जब अब ये अपना सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि सीबीआई इसी दौरान इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन को इंटरवीन करे और चार्ज ले इसमें, बिकॉज ये रिमांड से इट इज स्टिल अंडर द सेम अथॉरिटीज विच वी आर चैलेंजिंग। तो जितनी जल्दी सीबीआई इसमें इंटरवीन करती है उतना ही ज्यादा अच्छा है।
आज भी एम्स डॉक्टरों की दिल्ली की टीम नहीं पहुंची,
अभी तक कोई कंफर्मेशन नहीं आया है एंड वी आर स्टिल वेटिंग फॉर दैट कंफर्मेशन।
अगर आज शाम तक पहुंच जाती जो हमारे पास इन्फो की 6:30 बजे तक एम्स दिल्ली की टीम पहुंचेगी, तो क्या रात में ही आप चाहते हैं कि सेकंड पीएम हो जाए?
जी, जल्द से जल्द होना चाहिए। ये अभी डॉक्टर्स हैं, वो एक्सपर्ट हैं जो इस फील्ड के आ रहे हैं एंड दे विल मेक द राइट डिसीजन।
आज या कल सुबह पीएम हो जाता है तो अंतिम संस्कार भोपाल में करेंगे या दिल्ली में?
जी, अभी ये दिस इज समथिंग जो अभी फैमिली डिस्कशन चल रहे हैं, तो वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू कमेंट ऑन इट।
लेकिन आपको लगता है कि ये जो पूरा घटनाक्रम है, इसके बाद जिस तरह से अब सीबीआई टेक ओवर करने वाली केस, तो अब आपको जस्टिस मिलेगा?
बिल्कुल हमारी आशा है और वी आर होपफुल फॉर दैट। दैट इज द रीजन सीबीआई एक ऐसी इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी है जिस पे भरोसा सबको है, बिकॉज उनके पास्ट हमेशा अच्छा रहा है। जितने भी उन्होंने केसेस टेकअप किए हैं, दे हैव गॉटन द राइट जस्टिस एंड वी आर होपिंग फॉर द सेम।
Okay, we're getting in reaction. That was the first reaction from Major Harshit Sharma, the brother of Tisha Sharma. We also have reactions coming in from the lawyer. Listen in. Okay, we'll just play out that. Manav is also joining us. Manav has been in the court and he has also been tracking more details. Manav, हमें बताएं क्या कुछ आज कोर्ट में हुआ, और हम देख रहे हैं कि किस तरह से 7 दिन की पुलिस रिमांड भी पुलिस को दे दी गई है आज।
बिल्कुल, देखिए 7 दिन की पुलिस रिमांड मिली है और अभी जो ताजा अपडेट ये है कि समर्थ को जो थाना है भोपाल में, उस थाने में लाया गया है कोर्ट में पेशी के बाद। 7 दिन की रिमांड के बाद अब पुलिस गहन जो पूछताछ है, वो इंटेंसिव एक तरीके से जांच है, वो शुरू यहाँ पर हो जाएगी, स्टार्ट हो जाएगी। लेकिन इस वक्त सबसे बड़ी खबर ये भी है कि कल पोस्टमार्टम होना है और पोस्टमार्टम से पहले ये पूछताछ काफी मायने रखेगी, क्योंकि समर्थ को कल जबलपुर से पकड़कर भोपाल लाया गया था देर रात, और अब समर्थ भोपाल पुलिस की कस्टडी में है। तो अब आगे की जो जांच है वो तेज हो जाएगी। और इसके साथ साथ जो गिरिवाला सिंह है, जो उनकी माँ है समर्थ की, उनकी जमानत पर उनकी गिरफ्तारी को लेकर भी एक तरीके से कोशिश यहाँ पर रहेगी। अगर उनकी जमानत सोमवार को रद्द होती है तो यानी माँ गिरिवाला और बेटे समर्थ दोनों की मुश्किलें दिशा मौत मामले में बढ़ती हुई दिखाई दे रही हैं।
बिल्कुल, बहुत शुक्रिया मानव हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। व्यूअर्स, सो दैट वाज द अपडेट कमिंग इन लेटेस्ट फ्रॉम भोपाल, where Samaj Singh was produced in court today and he has been sent to police 7-day police custody. Trisha's lawyer has also spoken to Republic TV. Listen in.
ये इसमें आप पूछें क्या सवाल है, इस पर्टिकुलर प्रकरण में सवाल ही सवाल है, सवाल ही सवाल। 12 तारीख को घटना होती है, गिरिबाला सिंह के घर से मुश्किल से 1-1.5 मिनट की दूरी पे कटारा हिल्स पुलिस स्टेशन है। सबसे पहले क्या किया जाना चाहिए था, कटारा हिल्स पुलिस स्टेशन को, अगर आपको जरा भी लग रहा था कि त्विषा को बचाया जा सकता है, तो आपको उसको नियरेस्ट सबसे करीब के अस्पताल में जाना था, आपको पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म करना था। अगर आप लोग भोपाल में जाके मौके पे भी वेरीफाई कर सकते हैं कि अगर गिरिबाला सिंह के घर से एम्स की तरफ बढ़े तो पहले कटारा हिल्स पुलिस स्टेशन पड़ जाता है और अगला माउंट हॉस्पिटल पड़ता है, जो कि बहुत बड़ा हॉस्पिटल है और वेल इक्विप्ड हॉस्पिटल है। क्या वहां नहीं ले जाना चाहिए था? क्यों सीधे ले गए? क्यों 12 तारीख से 15 तारीख तक FIR नहीं लिखी गई? क्या ऐसा हुआ कि FIR होने के पहले 14 तारीख को ये एंटीसिपेटरी बेल एप्लीकेशन दोनों की लग गई? क्या ऐसा हुआ कि वो एंटिसिपेटरी बेल एप्लीकेशन 14 तारीख से 15 तारीख को हियरिंग के लिए आती है और 15 तारीख को अचानक एफआईआर रजिस्टर होती है? ऐसे कौन से कारण दिखाई दिए जिसमें 15 तारीख को एफआईआर हुई और बिना कोई इन्वेस्टिगेशन हुए उसको एंटिसिपेटरी बेल दे दी गई? अग्रिम जमानत देते समय शर्त यह लगा दी गई कि वो साक्ष्य को नहीं प्रभावित करेंगी और जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसको इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं करेंगी, लेकिन ऐसी कोई शर्त नहीं लगाई गई कि आप उस घर में नहीं रह सकते। तो 15 तारीख के बाद से भी वो घर उन्हीं के पास है। अब उस घर में
क्या कुछ प्लांट किया जा सकता है?
उस घर में इतने दिनों में 12 तारीख से लेकर आज हम 23 तारीख पे खड़े हैं, कल 24 संडे, परसों 25 तारीख है जब 2:30 बजे हाईकोर्ट में हियरिंग होनी है उनकी अग्रिम जमानत की निरस्ती पे। इतने दिनों में मैंने पहले भी कहा और अभी फिर मैं कह रहा हूं कि गिरिबाला सिंह के पास 30-35 वर्ष का जुडिशरी का अनुभव है। उन्होंने जुडिशियल मजिस्ट्रेट फर्स्ट क्लास से लेकर के और सेशन जज की हैसियत तक पता नहीं कितनी क्रिमिनल ट्रायल्स उन्होंने कंडक्ट करी हैं। समर्थ खुद वकील हैं, उनको कानूनी दांव पेचों का अच्छे से ज्ञान है। तो ऐसे दो व्यक्ति जो पूरा कानूनी ज्ञान रखते हैं, उनको क्रिमिनल ट्रायल के बारे में सब कुछ मालूम है, क्या उन्हें यह नहीं पता होगा कि कौन सी साक्ष्य उनके खिलाफ उस घर में है जिसे हटाया जा सकता है? और क्या 12 तारीख से और अभी तक और जब तक उनकी बेल एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्शन पे हाईकोर्ट द्वारा कोई निर्णय नहीं लिया जाता और यदि अलाउ होती है हमारी अपील और उनकी एंटिसिपेटरी बेल रिजेक्ट की जाती है तो माननीय उच्च न्यायालय क्या निर्देश देते हैं? और यदि हमारी उनका चैलेंज निरस्त होता है तो क्या निर्देश देते हैं? इन सब बातों में अभी तो ये देखिए 12 तारीख से और 25 तारीख तक 13 दिन वो घर गिरिबाला सिंह के कंट्रोल में है। उन्हें बहुत अच्छे से मालूम है एक न्यायिक अधिकारी होने के नाते कि क्या क्या एविडेंस उनके खिलाफ उस घर में उपलब्ध होगी, उनके और समर्थ के खिलाफ जो यूज की जा सकती है। तो इस बात की संभावना है, पूरी संभावना नहीं, हमें आशंका है कि उन्होंने वो एविडेंस नष्ट की होगी और त्विषा के खिलाफ जो फालतू के एलिगेशन वो लगाती रहती हैं मानहानि कारक कि वो ड्रग्स लेती थी या क्या करती थी, तो उनके पास ये भी पूरा अवसर है इस 13 दिनों में कि वो त्विषा के कमरे में जहां वो रहती थी, जहां उनका सामान रखा है, जहां उनकी अलमारी है, वहां पे वो सारी सामान, वो सारा जो वो आरोप लगाती हैं ड्रग्स या जो भी, वो वहां पे इम्प्लांट कर सकें, यानी झूठी साक्ष्य गठित कर सकें।
All right, viewers, we are getting in some update from Manipur. This is on the clashes that are being reported outside CM's residence. The Manipur Youth Congress has held protests outside the secretariat today, and you can see the visuals from Imphal, where security forces have also arrested some of the protesters. You can see these visuals coming in as there has been unrest that has been reported in different parts. Now there is these political clashes also happening. Now you have the protests being held by Youth Congress. Manipur Pradesh Congress committee members were demonstrating, and they did not take permission is what we understand. They tried to storm inside the secretariat also. Youth protesters in fact, they've also raised slogans against the Chief Minister and the Home Minister. The security forces have arrested these agitators. You can see on the screens as well. The president of the youth wing, W. Anand, has also been arrested, has been taken away by the police, as you can see in these visuals coming in. Linthoi joins us for more. Linthoi, tell us more details what really happened outside the secretariat.
Yeah, the situation here outside the Chief Minister's secretariat in Imphal turned extremely tense as the protesters stormed in the Chief Minister's secretariat main gate today after a massive protest erupted by members of the Youth Congress. So protesters suddenly gathered in huge numbers and stormed towards the main gate of the secretariat, banging the barricade and raising slogans against the BJP-led government. The protesters were openly questioning the silence of the state leadership at a time when Manipur continues to witness unrest, killings, and uncertainty among the youth. So many of the agitators shouted that this is the high time for the Chief Minister and Home Minister to wake up, alleging that the government has failed to address the fears and frustrations of the younger generation. In fact, these emotions were running very high here as several youth leaders accused that the government of remaining inactive while the future of Manipur's youth hangs in uncertainty. Slogans like irresponsible CM and the Home Minister must resign echoed continuously outside the Secretariat complex, creating creating a highly charged atmosphere. So what is also significant in the suddenness of the protest, security personnel stationed outside the Chief Minister bungalows appeared caught off guard as demonstrators emerged from different directions and quickly occupied the entrance area. The protesters soon escalated into a confrontation-like situation after security forces attempted to disperse the crowd. And also during the crackdown, several agitators were detained by the police, including Youth Congress President, who was identified as W. Anand, and his detention further intensified the anger of among the protesters, among the Youth Congress members, who alleged that democratic voices are being suppressed instead of being heard. And also politically, this protest sends a strong message because the anger is now visibly shifting towards the government handling of the prolonged crisis in Manipur since May 2023. So the opposition is clearly trying to build a narrative that the state leadership has lost touch with the ground reality, especially with frustrated youth who feel abandoned amid continuing violence and instability. At the same time, this protest also reflects a larger concern that public patience, particularly among young people, appears to be wearing thin. And if the government fails to respond, politically and emotionally to these sentiments, such demonstration may become more frequent and more aggressive in the coming days. Back to you.
Many thanks, Linthoy, for getting us an inside view and getting us more details on that story. Viewers, we shift our focus to the other stories, viewers. The petrol prices, the fuel prices have risen once again. That is only mounting the pressure on the household budgets. Petrol and diesel have now been increased for a third time in less than 10 days, rates going up to 91 paise per litre today. The hike comes amid the rising global energy prices that have been triggered by the conflict in West Asia. Here's more.
Petrol and diesel prices have been hiked once again today, marking the third increase in rates in less than 10 days. Petrol prices in Delhi have gone up by 87 paise per litre from 98.64 rupees to 99.51 rupees. Diesel prices have risen by 91 paise from 91.58 rupees to 92.49 per litre. This follows earlier hikes on May 15th and the 19th. The total increase in fuel prices is nearly 5 rupees per litre within just 10 days. Fuel prices have steadily climbed across major cities since May 14th. In Delhi, petrol prices have risen from 94.74 to 99.51 rupees in just 9 days. Similarly, in Mumbai, petrol has crossed 108 rupees per litre, while Kolkata has touched nearly 111 rupees per litre. The diesel chart also reflects a similar trend, with prices in metro cities seeing continuous hikes after every revision announced by oil companies. The reason behind the fuel price hike is the sharp spike in international energy prices due to the conflict in West Asia. India is among the last major economies to increase retail fuel prices despite rising international costs. Analysts warn that if global crude prices continue to remain volatile, more hikes may follow in the coming days.
And viewers, the Karnataka government's decision to withdraw cases linked to the controversial Dargah clashes has now triggered massive political showdown. BJP has in fact accused the Congress party of Congress government in Karnataka of indulging in blatant minority appeasement, while the Siddaramaiah government maintains the move followed due process. Here's more on that.
A major political controversy has erupted in Karnataka after the Congress government decided to withdraw cases linked to the 2022 Ladle Mashak Dargah clashes in Kalaburagi district. The decision was reportedly taken during the Thursday's cabinet meeting following a request made by the Karnataka Assembly Speaker UT Khadar. Sources say the Ladle Mashak Dargah committee had submitted a representation seeking withdrawal of the cases, which were registered after large-scale violence during the Shivratri celebrations in Alandh town. The JDS national spokesperson says that they are not happy with the decision taken by the Karnataka government.
The Karnataka government decision once again raises the serious questions about the selective appeasement politics. Excessive appeasement of or political glorification of any one community can create the imbalance in society. It is the responsibility of the government to trust and treat people of all religions, caste and community equally.
The controversy dates back to 2022 when tensions flared after allegations emerged that human waste had been thrown on a shivling inside the shrine complex. The alleged act sparked massive outrage among devotees, and the situation quickly spiraled into violence after attempts were made to clean the shivling. Stone pelting, chaos and violent clashes were reported from the area, turning a religious site into a battleground overnight. The state government has now reportedly withdrawn 13 cases connected to the incident, giving relief to hundreds of accused persons. The BJP has now launched a sharp attack on the Congress government, accusing it of prioritizing vote bank politics over law and order.
कांग्रेस का हाथ हमेशा दंगाइयों के साथ, और आज स्थित हो रहा है जब कर्नाटका की सरकार ने आदेश दिया है कि वो अनेकों क्रिमिनल केसेस, दंगे के केसेस विड्रॉ करेगी और क्लीन चिट देगी दंगाइयों को। पहले भी उन्होंने पीएफआई को उनके केसेस विड्रॉ करके क्लीन चिट दिया, एसडीपीआई को, एमआईएम के दंगाइयों को हुबली राइट्स में, और अब जो मशाक दरगाह राइट्स है उसमें जो अक्यूज्ड है उनको क्लीन चिट मिलेगा, उनकी स्लेट साफ कर दी जाएगी, क्रिमिनल केसेस हटा दिए जाएंगे और हंड्रेड्स ऑफ लोग जिन्होंने पुलिस को अटैक किया उनको भी छोड़ दिया जाएगा। और ये दिखाता है कि इनके मन में पुलिस के लिए, इनके मन में कानून के लिए, संविधान के लिए कोई मर्यादा नहीं है, कोई उनके लिए सम्मान नहीं है। केवल ये वोट बैंक की दुकान को संविधान के ऊपर रखते हैं, ये वोट बैंक की दुकान को कानून के निजाम के ऊपर रखते हैं। वोट बैंक फर्स्ट, इसलिए मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन की बात होती है, मुस्लिम कॉलोनी, मुस्लिम बजट, ये सारी चीजें तो दे ही रहे थे कर्नाटका में। अब एक स्टेप आगे बढ़ के मुस्लिम अगर दंगाई होगा तो क्लीन चिट मिल जाएगी। मतलब इस प्रकार की तुष्टिकरण नीति।
What began as a controversy inside a shrine has now exploded into a full-blown political flashpoint, with the BJP and Congress locked in another bitter ideological battle.
More updates from Bhopal today. Samar Singh is sent to police 7-day police custody. Second autopsy for Tisha likely tomorrow. Medical board comprising of 4 senior doctors to conduct the second post-mortem.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Tisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Tisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Tisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Tisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Tisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the ex-judge, walks up calmly while the body is being dragged down and evidence is being destroyed before the judge's eyes. Is that normal? Why don't the judges raise a hue and cry about it? Why don't the appellate courts take up this case suo motu? So people don't start believing that when an ex-judge is concerned, the victim will never get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the ex-judge carrying in her hand when she went down? Where is all the CCTV footage? Did the police collect it? Why did the ex-judge's son Samarth Singh escape after bringing the body of his wife to AIIMS? Is it true that the ex-judge's son's medical examination was not conducted? The police station is right behind the ex-judge's Giribala's house. Why was no call made? Why did it take 5 days to file an FIR in the case? Who stalled it? Why was the victim's family attacked in court if there's nothing to hide? And did a very senior police officer go to AIIMS that night to try and fudge the post-mortem report? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking these questions. Now I ask you, am I right or wrong in asking these questions? And if I don't, who will? Will the government of Madhya Pradesh raise these questions? The Chief Minister doesn't have 30 seconds to meet the victim's family. Will the higher courts of the country raise these questions? So far, I have not seen this case being picked up by the appellate courts, though we are screaming and shouting about it. So I say tonight, what happens when other institutions fail? And if we do a media trial, should we be celebrated and supported for doing so? Was Aravali a media trial? Yes, it was. It was. Thank God for that. Thank God for that media trial which stopped the Aravalis from being destroyed. Was the Pune Porsche case a media trial where innocents were killed by a rich brat and the whole system colluded to give the rich brat a free run? Was it a media trial? I confess it was. Thank God for it. Thank God for that media trial. Was RG Kaur a media trial? When the government of Mamata Banerjee and the whole system came together to destroy the evidence? Was it? If it was a media trial, I and the entire Republic Bangla team are proud for it. Thank God for that. Thank God for such media trials in our country. Thank God for the media trial in the Jessica Lal murder case. Thank God for the media trial in the Nirbhaya case. Thank God for the media trial in the Sheena Bora murder case. Thank God for the media trial in the Disha Salian murder case. Thank God for the media trial in the Pune Porsche case. Thank God for the media trial in the Sandesh Khali case where Mamata Banerjee stood there and the media made a hue and cry about Sandesh Khali, the mass gang rape of Hindu women, before the politicians stepped in. If it was not for a media trial, there would be no expose of Sandesh Khali. And you know what? Thank God for the media trial and the media debate and the media investigation that forced the judge to resign in the cash burning scam, where in the house.
I wanted to clear that any kind of promiscuous behavior after the marriage will not be done.
With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Tisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice?
This time the state government is moving the High Court, asking for it to be cancelled, finally seeing action.
Which means most likely she will be arrested.
Yes.
I'm proud of the media trial that is going to lead to the arrest of a judge.
She has dialed a district judge at 11:06 p.m. If this has been with the judiciary for all these days, how the hell did she get the anticipatory bail?
No, I will not have any more.
गायब क्यों है?
चलो
बड़े भाई आप ऐसे हाथ
प्लीज मूव आउट मैडम.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार. क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है. तभी तो रिचमैन बनना नहीं आसान है।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Tisha Sharma. Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Tisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Tisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Tisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Tisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden?
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Republic TV. I'm Gesu Bharadwaj, and Samarth Singh, the key accused in Tisha Sharma's dowry death case, has been sent to a 7-day police custody after the court hearing that was just underway moments ago in Bhopal's district court. Getting you all the details, here are your headlines for the hour. Take a look.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Accused Samarth Singh sent to 7-day police custody. Second autopsy for Tisha likely tomorrow. A medical board comprising of 4 senior doctors to conduct the second post-mortem. Operation Sherowal underway in Jammu and Kashmir. The army says contact established with terrorists in Valley. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets Prime Minister Modi, invites him to the White House on behalf of President Trump. Viewers, now in the latest case of Tisha Sharma in Bhopal, Samarth Singh has been sent to a 7-day police custody. Meanwhile, senior doctors will conduct a second post-mortem of Tisha Sharma's body tomorrow. Now, AIIMS doctors will depart this evening from New Delhi and will be bound to Bhopal. This will happen around 6 p.m. today. That's the latest that we're getting in. Now, remember, the police in the court also said that Samarth Singh has not been cooperating with the police. And of course, it comes after him being absconding for about 10 days despite a a lookout notice being issued against him by the Madhya Pradesh police. An interstate search operation was being carried out to trace down Samarth Singh. In fact, yesterday he claimed that he surrendered, but the police has now made it very clear that this was not a surrender. He was in fact arrested by the police, and today, after a medical examination that was held at the JP Hospital, the JP District Hospital in Bhopal, he was produced in front of the Bhopal District Court, and there in the court, the court has pronounced a 7-day police custody for Samarth Singh. Now, in fact, Professor Lakshmi Chand Gupta, who is also a forensic expert, joins us on the broadcast to speak to us about the matter. Sir, now I want to understand from you, the CBI will start the case from scratch, but a lot of forensics, there were a lot of lapses in terms of evidence not being provided or not being taken care of fully by the Madhya Pradesh police. So how much difficulty can the CBI now go on to face?
I have gone through the post-mortem report submitted by you today itself. I found that inquest proceedings are conducted in this case without an executive magistrate. That was essential under 196 CRPC. And PM means post-mortem has been conducted by a board of doctors by containing junior resident and senior resident doctor. This is very serious point to be considered. In this case, dead body has been retrieved in AIMS mortuary at about 2 a.m. in the night of 12 and 13, and post-mortem conducted after 10 to 12 hours. Whole things are not supporting the things, and the board never said that this case is of suicide. They have simply said that this antemortem hanging by the ligature material. They have nowhere said that it is a suicide.
Right.
फिर इस केस में जो आप देख रहे हैं, जो लाइगेचर मार्क जो नेक पे दिख रहा है, वो किसी भी तरीके से सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा। ये डबल लाइगेचर मार्क है, वो टोटल नेक पे कहीं पे भी ब्लडलेस एरिया नहीं नजर आ रहा है, जो ये इंडिकेट करता है कि सेकेंड ऑटोप्सी शुड कंसीडर द वीडियो फोटोग्राफी टेकन इन दिस केस आल्सो. And Dubai's case appears to be.
Ask you, Professor Gupta, looking at the crime scene, don't you think that there was there was an entire plan for a cover-up as well? The fact that, the ligature material was also not submitted by the police initially. The belt that was used, the police said that a belt was used, but that also was not submitted to the forensic experts. So how much does that derail this entire case?
अभी जो आप कह रहे हैं कि बेल्ट सबमिट की है पुलिस ने बेल्ट रिकवर की है, जबकि डॉक्टर्स ने ये लिखा है अपनी पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में कि इसके अंदर जिम्नास्टिक रिंग रोप यूज की गई है. दैट इज नॉट to be named as a belt. बेल्ट के लाइगेचर मार्क हैं भी, जो ये नेक पे लाइगेचर मार्क नजर आ रहा है, ये बेल्ट को कंसिस्ट नहीं कर रहा है, दिख भी नहीं रहा कि बेल्ट की वजह से हुआ है.
So, in fact, I also want to understand from you, basic things also went completely haywire. They went completely wrong in the ultimate forensic report that came to fore. The fact that her height also could not be mentioned, it was not correct at all. Her height was shortened and it was mentioned in the forensic report. So that is a grave crime. And that's one thing that meets the eye and could be caught onto. But God knows how many other things were completely botched up and carelessly mentioned in this report. So who is to be held accountable over this? And of course, the fact that the body has been in the morgue for so long, even if the CBI or even if a second report of post-mortem is carried on tomorrow, it has lost a lot of truths. It has lost a lot of evidence.
आप मेन चीज इसमें देखिएगा कि पोस्टमार्टम जो कंडक्ट किया गया है, जूनियर रेजिडेंट और सीनियर रेजिडेंट के स्तर के लोगों को लेके बनाया गया है. इसके अंदर सिर्फ एक प्रोफेसर है, बाकी उसके अंडर में काम करने वाले एक जीआर और एक एसआर हैं। दूसरी चीज ये है कि इसका इंक्वेस्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स होनी चाहिए, जिसको एक मजिस्ट्रेट के द्वारा होना चाहिए था, या तो डीएम खुद करता या एसडीएम करता या एग्जीक्यूटिव मजिस्ट्रेट इस संबंध में जो ऑथराइज किया जाता गवर्नमेंट द्वारा या डीएम द्वारा, वो इसकी इंक्वेस्ट प्रोसीडिंग करता। पुलिस को प्रोसीडिंग्स नहीं कर सकती थी, इसमें प्रावधान नहीं है। जो बीएनएसएस में भी प्रावधान नहीं है और पहले की जो सीआरपीसी थी उसमें भी प्रावधान नहीं थे। तो इसके अंदर पुलिस सीधा इंक्वेस्ट प्रोसीडिंग कर रही है। अगर मजिस्ट्रेट द्वारा प्रोसीडिंग होती तो इस रिपोर्ट में लिखा जाता, पोस्टमार्टम के रिपोर्ट में नहीं लिखा गया। फर्दर, हु कंस्टिट्यूटेड द बोर्ड फॉर कंडक्टिंग द पोस्टमार्टम, डॉक्टर्स का किसके द्वारा बोर्ड बनाया गया ये भी नहीं लिखा गया इस रिपोर्ट के अंदर, जो बहुत जरूरी होता है। बोर्ड कौन बनाएगा, या तो मजिस्ट्रेट बनाएगा या फिर इंस्टीट्यूट का हेड बनाएगा। अभी किसने बनाया, क्या किया, इसमें कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ। फिर पोस्टमार्टम की रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से जो देख रहा हूं मैं अभी, बहुत सी चीजें कंसीडर नहीं की गई। ना तो डॉक्टर्स द्वारा अभी तक सीन ऑफ क्राइम देखा गया, और सीन ऑफ क्राइम देखेंगे भी क्या है, वो तो ऑलरेडी डिस्टर्ब किया हुआ है। क्या एक मजिस्ट्रेट के घर के अंदर डेड बॉडी मिली है, उसको क्या जरूरत थी उसको सीन ऑफ क्राइम को डिस्टर्ब करते, डेड बॉडी को उतारते, क्या जरूरत थी? सीधा पुलिस को कंप्लेंट करते, पुलिस अपने आप आती, अपने आप देखती इसको क्या करना था क्या नहीं करना था, उनका काम था। सीन ऑफ क्राइम को डिस्टर्ब करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है। डेड, इसमें जो अभी तक जो एविडेंसेज आ रहे हैं, मालूम चल रहा है कि 10:15 बजे रात के करीब इसके अंदर जो हैंगिंग का समझो केस की इंफॉर्मेशन आ रही है। उसके बाद डेड बॉडी जो 2 बजे ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट में शिफ्ट की गई है। क्या पोजीशन है, कैसे है, ये तो चीजें इतना देरी काहे में लगी है, सब कुछ देखना है। जब इतना ही देरी लगनी थी तो वो तो हैंगिंग से डेथ तो 3 मिनट में मैक्सिमम हो जाती है। फिर उसको उतार कर लेकर भागने का, कहीं दूसरे हॉस्पिटल में ले जाने का क्या महत्व था?
जी प्रोफेसर गुप्ता, अब जब सीबीआई इस केस की जांच शुरू से वापस करेगी, सीबीआई जो कि अभी भोपाल पहुंची है, वो वापस से हर दायरा इस केस का देखेंगे, तो उसमें आपको क्या लगता है कि ये जो फोरेंसिक्स के साथ गलतियां हुई हैं वो उस केस के बीच में कितना ज्यादा आ सकती हैं?
बहुत ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण फैक्ट्स एंड फाइंडिंग्स हैं जो इस केस के अंदर कंसिडर करनी चाहिए थी, और अब कहां से कंसिडर करेंगे? डेड बॉडी के पैर ऊपर जमीन से ऊपर उठे हुए थे कि नहीं? डेड बॉडी किस चीज से लटकी हुई थी? एक्चुअल में लाइगेचर मटेरियल क्या था? जो अभी जो लाइगेचर मटेरियल दिया जा रहा है, वास्तव में यही लाइगेचर मटेरियल था कि नहीं? ये सब चीजें बहुत जरूरी होती हैं। एक लेडीज किस तरीके से उस हैंगिंग पॉइंट तक पहुंची, नीचे क्या था खड़ा होने के लिए, उसके पैर नीचे जमीन से टच थे कि नहीं थे, सलाइवा है नहीं। जब भी कोई लटकता है तो उसके एक साइड में लार निकलती है, ऑटोमेटिक नेचुरल प्रोसीजर है, लाइव प्रोसीजर, वो इसमें लार भी नहीं निकली हुई है। बहुत सी चीजें हैं। ब्लडलेस एरिया नेक पे दिख नहीं रहा है। ये सारी चीजें अभी देखने पड़ेगी। जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, दूसरा बोर्ड जा रहा है दिल्ली से, देखो अब क्या देखता है उसको। वो पुरानी जो वीडियो फोटोग्राफी ली गई है उसको कंसीडर करता है कि नहीं, देखता है कि नहीं देखता। मेरे ख्याल से इस केस के अंदर पुरानी जो वीडियो फोटोग्राफी हुई है उसको डेफिनेटली सेकंड बोर्ड को कंसीडर करना चाहिए, उसको सीरियसली देखना चाहिए।
Right, Professor Gupta, thanks very much for joining in and for speaking to us about the details of the matter and the discrepancies that have arisen with the forensics not being handled properly. For now, viewers, we're also being joined by my colleague Harsh, who is in Jabalpur right now, tracing each aspect of the case. Now, Harsh, a 7-day police remand has been ordered for Samarth Singh, the key accused in the case. Speak to us about the details of the matter. You know, the police first raised it. We expected that the police will, but he was also given time to speak to his lawyer and recollect and then present his case. Harsh.
Right, yes, so a lot is being considered in the point of view when we see everything, when we put everything in place. And a lot is being done now to investigate the matter thoroughly. Now, this also comes at a time because I was there at the Jabalpur High Court yesterday, where multiple petitions were being heard. And now, in fact, we also wait for Monday because Monday is the day when the next hearing will be conducted in regards of the cancellation of the bail petition that has been filed. In fact, the bail that has been granted to Giribala Singh. This matter will be heard at the Jabalpur High Court at 2:30. Now, this is the case where Government of Madhya Pradesh has introduced the Solicitor General Tisha Sharma alongside Prashant Singh, who is the Attorney General, who is in fact the Advocate General of the Madhya Pradesh government, and both of these senior lawyers are in fact representing the government of Madhya Pradesh. They are in fact now demanding the termination of the bail that has been, in fact the anticipatory bail that has been granted to Giribala Singh, and this matter will be heard on 2:30 p.m. on Monday, and this is what we are eyeing on now, because Giribala Singh is the second accused in the case. She is the mother-in-law. She has been multiple claims also emerged that she is not cooperating in this matter, and now Solicitor General Tushar Mehta alongside Prashant Singh, who also spoke to Republic exclusively yesterday, he in fact also revealed the clear side of the Madhya Pradesh government in this entire matter. He said that although they believe, they have full faith in the skills of the government doctors of Madhya Pradesh, but they were ready for the second post-mortem because of the fact they want to restore public faith, and if the family of Tisha Sharma want that to happen, they have no objection to get the second post-mortem conducted, and that is exactly what is happening now. A team from Delhi will be departing from Delhi to Bhopal, and the second post-mortem will be conducted, and on Monday as well we will be hearing the Jabalpur bench of the High Court also hearing the cancellation of the anticipatory bail that has been awarded
Harsh,
to Giribala Singh.
continue. Harsh, continue being with us. We're also getting in some more breaking development. Now, an application on behalf of Twisha's family has been submitted to the Bhopal District Court. Now, this requests the immediate removal of the SHO, which is the town inspector of the Katara Hills Police Station, from the special investigation team. Now, this application seeks the removal of the town inspector Sunil Dubey, who has been, and that application has been submitted to the court successfully. The application also states that amongst the records of the 46 phone numbers that were submitted to the court, the number belonging to SHO of the Katara Hills Police Station is also present. So all the 46 numbers that were dialed by ex-judge Giribala Singh, the SHO of the Katara Hills Police Station, his number is one amongst those. In fact, the application clearly states that as well. This number belongs to the SHO of the Katara Hills Police Station. His name is Sunil Dubey, and in fact he's been asked to be removed from the case by Twisha's family in an application that's been formally submitted in the Honorable Bhopal District Court. Now, in fact, Samarth and Giribala had communicated with him on the day of the death as well, and the application states that he cannot be a part of the investigation. Therefore, he must be immediately removed from the special investigation team. So lots of links that are coming out with more and more details that are coming to fore in the case. The station officer is one of the 46 numbers that were dialed by the ex-judge Giribala Singh on the night of Tisha Sharma's death. In fact, remember, the call records were first accessed by Republic exclusively. In fact, those call records have also been submitted in the Bhopal District Court. In fact, an application now on behalf of Tisha Sharma's family has been submitted in the same court. This application seeks the immediate removal of the SHO of the Katara Hills Police Station, Sunil Dubey, pardon me. Now, the application states that his number was amongst the 46 numbers that were dialed by ex-judge Giribala Singh in what the family alleges was a botch-up or a cover-up of the case. Now, in fact, his number was also, as per reports, dialed on the very night of Tisha Sharma's death, that is the 12th of May. So the SHO of the Katara Hills Police Station, in fact, is being asked to be removed from the special investigation team in the Tisha Sharma dowry death case by her family. And in fact, that appeal has been put in front of the court in a formal application on behalf of the family. Now, exclusively, Republic is getting you this detail that the station officer was one of the 46 numbers that were dialed that night by ex-judge Giribala Singh. Viewers, that's all that we could wrap for you in this edition of the News Bulletin. Thanks very much for staying with us. But on the other side, the key accused, Samarth Singh, has now been given a 7-day police remand after the court's proceedings were over in Bhopal District Court. All the details on the other side. Stay tuned.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person? Is there a feeling that anyone who wears or puts a, proclaims that he is from a so-called Hindu organization, that he will be allowed to get away with absolutely everything, including an act of rape? Is there a feeling that this man, do right-wingers feel, this man, this accused rapist is one of our own? So hence, regardless of what happens, one of our own should never be accused. It's like all those people, those radical Islamists who say that as long as the act of murder or crime of terrorism is carried out by a Muslim, it must be defended. This very thought, ladies and gentlemen, is completely unacceptable. And we need to make the point more strongly because it's not the first time this has happened. This happened in the case of Bilkis Bano. When in Gujarat, the rapists of Bilkis Bano came out, they were greeted with tikas and sweets. And it was happening openly. This was an act of defiance. A manner of saying, so what? It is a Hindu who carried out the act of rape and hence we will celebrate him. We will forgive the person. Ladies and gentlemen, we are nobody to forgive. And the last thing we should do is celebrate rapists. This was a shameful moment then. This is a shameful moment now. Sengar was another shameful moment when some people said, oh, Sengar is from, the BJP and hence he can be seen smiling after carrying out the act of rape. And people would celebrate him and say, no, our leader can do no wrong. That was another shameful moment for the right wing. And ladies and gentlemen, Jayant Sinha, remember, son of Yashwant Sinha, stood there, ladies and gentlemen, and garlanded people accused of lynching. And he had come to my studio and I had told him, Jayant, I think you should be ashamed of what you've done. Because for all the good you will do in your political career, this moment will be the black spot on your career. And therefore, My point is to those who call themselves right-wingers. You cannot be right-wingers, say you're fighting for the right and be supporting lynchers and rapists at the same time. You cannot have this attitude that if you are pro-Hindu, then if someone who is a Hindu or from a Hindu organization commits the most ghastly crime, you will say it's all right because he claims membership of a Hindu organization. Why doesn't the Hindu Yuva Vahini sack and throw out Sushil Prajapati? Why can't they take a stand on issues such as this? Food for thought.
So we are trying to go across to the father of Twisha, Mr. Navnidhi Sharma, who will be joining us live in just a bit. Just wanted to tell our viewers that in the story of Twisha, there have been many developments in the last few hours, especially with Samarth, the husband of Twisha, being sent to 7 days of custody, and we are as we speak getting more details. The family also has a few questions, so we should be able to go across to them. They will be joining us live in just a bit. And Twisha's father will be joining us live on Republic in just a few seconds. We were on a commercial break and he was live with us. We will try and get him back live, but there has been a big development in the case. The station house officer, the SHO of a station called Katara Hills, there is an application against him. I'll go across to Mr. Navnidhi Sharma, the father of Twisha, joining us on the broadcast right now, and let me ask him. Mr. Sharma, you seem to have some apprehensions even at this stage, despite Samarth being in custody. Giripala, of course, is not arrested. We just broke details of the calls to the SHO. SHO got the calls, but was also made part of the SIT. And he was also the officer who brought him back from Jabalpur to Bhopal. So what's going on here?
Sir, actually we are waiting for the CBI to take over the charge. Because before that, whatever activities are going on, these are all, not going to solve the purpose. So we are all waiting. Order has been given already from the state. The government has already given the order through the court. So I hope that CBI will hurry up and will take up the matter as soon as possible, so that the evidences and other things could not be manipulated. Because already the manipulations has to some extent, they have already done it. So now every time which we are spending, it is a loss to us. Moreover, sir, I would like to, bring your attention towards one thing, sir. Yesterday, from the Honorable High Court has ordered that to constitute a team by AIMS Director Delhi and perform this PM2 at Bhopal, sir. So only just now I came to know that a team has been already constituted. And they are flying for late evening today. And most probably tomorrow morning they will perform this PM2. I hope that all these expertise will do their job very rightly and they will bring the truth to surface. But in my plea, sir, I requested, because I know one name in this international market, because I am into international marketing of pharmaceutical formulations, and because of being in this medical fraternity for more than 40 years, I know one name, Dr. Dinesh Rao. He is very famous in forensic expert, one of the best expert available in India, sir. So from our side, in our plea, we requested Honorable Court to, include him into this panel and even head this team of expertise. Whatever it is, sir, I want this person in our panel so that, and he is very much known for his, non-biased performances. So till now from AIMS, I just could not get any call when they are coming. And मेरी सर AIMS के डायरेक्टर से भी हाथ जोड़ के उम्मीद है, क्योंकि बेटी का मामला है सर, इसको न्याय की जरूरत है सर. That's the reason मैंने आपकी हेल्प के लिए आपको बोला है सर. अगर हो सके तो डॉक्टर दिनेश राव को भी इसमें इंक्लूड कर सकें तो जरूर करें, क्योंकि एक अच्छे एक्सपर्ट इंडिया में अवेलेबल हैं जो अपनी सर्विसेज रेंडर कर सकते हैं.
Okay. Short question. Do you think, because I read that order, in that order his name was mentioned, Dr. Dinesh Rao's name was mentioned. So if some other panel is coming despite the court order,
yes, sir.
Does that raise
nobody
questions?
has contacted Dinesh Rao, Dr. Dinesh Rao. अभी that's the reason मैं बड़ा वो हूँ कि एक नॉन बायस और एक इतना अच्छा एक्सपर्ट इंडिया में अवेलेबल है जिसको इंटरनेशनली कॉल किया जाता है टू provide the solution for complicated cases. So that's the reason I am requesting again, with my humble request, to consider him even in panel, so that things becomes quite transparent.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. Mr. Navnidhi Sharma, we'll speak to you again.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
hope that
Yes,
the people who have to listen to you are hearing you and do the needful to ensure that Twisha gets justice and your family gets justice. Thank you for speaking to us.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MDH का जल जीरा जीरा से
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा.
MDH
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला. Delicious, healthy, every day.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Tisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Tisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Tisha Sharma
Hello and a very warm welcome to another episode of Real Estate Today. My name is Nayan and you're watching a show that tracks the pulse of India's real estate, infrastructure and development story. Now, it's been another big week for the sector with large housing launches, rapid infrastructure-led growth and rising momentum in commercial real estate, shaping the market across the country. On the show today, Chennai witnesses one of its biggest integrated township launches. UP's real estate boom continues to accelerate and India's office leasing market records strong commercial demand led by Bengaluru. Let's take you through the top headlines shaping the sector this week.
India's housing story is getting bigger, literally. Chennai has just witnessed one of its biggest residential launches in recent years. Casa Grande has unveiled a massive 41-acre integrated township project on the city's rapidly growing ORR corridor, with over 4,000 homes planned within a single development. But this is not just another housing project. It reflects a much larger shift taking place across India's real estate market. Home buyers today are no longer looking for just apartments. They are looking for ecosystems, spaces where work, lifestyle, fitness, recreation and community living come together in one integrated environment. Large township developments are increasingly becoming the preferred model for developers and buyers alike. From sports arenas and clubhouses to schools, retail zones, landscaped spaces and co-working areas, the modern Indian home buyer wants more than square footage. They want convenience, experience and long-term lifestyle value. And Chennai's expanding infrastructure network is playing a major role in driving this growth. Improved connectivity through the ORR corridor is transforming surrounding regions into major residential hotspots. What we are witnessing today is the rise of a new urban housing format, larger, self-sustained and built around community living. And if market trends continue, integrated townships could define the next phase of India's residential real estate story. India's next real estate boom may not come from metros. It may come from the heartland. Uttar Pradesh is witnessing a major acceleration in housing demand, with UP RERA expected to approve more than 400 new housing projects this year alone. And this growth is not happening in isolation. It is being powered by infrastructure. Expressways, metro expansions, industrial corridors, airports, and improved connectivity are rapidly transforming cities across the state. From Lucknow and Noida to Ghaziabad, Kanpur, and emerging Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets, real estate activity is expanding at an unprecedented pace. Developers are now aggressively entering markets that were once considered secondary. Why? Because affordability, infrastructure growth, and rising aspirations are creating a completely new housing demand cycle. For many home buyers, these cities now offer something metros increasingly struggle with: space, connectivity, and relative affordability. At the same time, investors are closely watching these emerging corridors for long-term appreciation opportunities. What Uttar Pradesh represents today is a much larger national trend. The center of India's real estate growth story is gradually shifting beyond traditional metro cities. And infrastructure remains the biggest catalyst behind this transformation.
Those were the top headlines, and clearly India's real estate story today is being driven as much as it is by infrastructure as it is by evolving market demand. In Real Talk today, we bring to you insights from the Amba Shakti Group podcast discussing emerging growth markets, infrastructure expansion and the future of construction materials, and what today's buyers should keep in mind while building or investing. Take a look.
The real estate industry today is evolving faster than ever. Across India, we are seeing rapid growth in housing, commercial spaces, infrastructure, and urban development. But behind every successful project lies one of the most important elements of construction: TMT bars. TMT bars play a critical role in providing strength, durability, and structural stability to buildings. Whether it's a residential apartment, a commercial tower, a bridge, or an industrial project, the quality of steel reinforcement directly impacts the safety and lifespan of the structure. Today, developers and buyers are far more aware of construction quality. They are looking for materials that are reliable, earthquake and corrosion resistant, and built to perform over the long term. That is why the TMT industry has become such an important part of India's growth story. With increasing demand and evolving technology, companies are now focusing not just on production, but also on quality standards, innovation, and consistency. One such established name in the industry is Amba Shakti Group, known for its integrated steel manufacturing and contribution to India's infrastructure and construction sector. Because in real estate, strong foundations are not just important, they are everything.
It is a privilege to introduce the leadership behind Amba Shakti Group, a name that stands for strength, trust and excellence in the steel industry. Now, the Amba Shakti Group was founded in 1974 by Mr. S.K. Goyal, whose vision, hard work and commitment to quality laid the foundation of this remarkable organization. His values continue to guide the group even today. Carrying the strong legacy forward are the managing directors Akshat Goyal and Dhruv Goyal, two dynamic leaders shaping the future of the company. I know that you're the managing directors, but I want to hear it from you.
I joined the business around 12 years ago.
Okay.
And when I graduated, we started from a small plant in Uttar Pradesh, and my grandfather started this entire business. My dad and my uncle, they took it forward, and they built it into an empire that it is today. We have multiple plants in the country, spanning 19 states where we are present with our product, and we have a combined production capacity of more than 1 million tons. There is a very strong demand of steel in India, and we did some exercises, and it was found that over the next 5 to 10 years, the demand was going to increase multifold. It was suggested that there was going to be a 4-fold increase in the consumption of steel, which is actually proving to be true. So we decided to expand in this area itself, and we built bigger and better plants. So that was my role into the company, was to get foreign collaborations to come in. We got the technologies from UK, from Germany, and we built the plants to the latest standards, so that we can provide the best TMT bars to our customers.
Dhruv, coming to you, I want to understand, how has the journey been so far in terms of, sort of coming down to a certain specific quality? Was quality always the indicator?
See, when I came to the business, most of it was already established. So I had to focus on the research and the development part. And I realized that in the market, our trust was not built overnight. We had delivered consistent quality for over 5 decades, and in many states we were progressively evolving, and there was regional competition. We need to give the best steel but at optimum costing. And since freight was one of the biggest costs that drives the price over long distances especially, we realized that we need to make multiple plants. And when I came in, we adjusted the locations of the plant and we introduced another one. And that specifically reduced the price and increase the quality.
So what do you think is the differentiating factor that puts aside, Amba Shakti, that puts you a step ahead of everybody else? All your competitors could do anything they want, but they would not reach that particular mark that Amba Shakti has.
So Amba Shakti over the past 5 decades has created a niche for itself.
Okay.
We were one of the first companies that adapted to direct charging.
Yeah.
And this was a route which allowed us to conserve energy. We do not use any fossil fuels.
Oh.
It's only electricity. And we took that decision around 15 years ago, where we decided that all our plants will only run on direct charging. We were the first to establish a greenfield project that was based entirely on direct charging.
Yeah.
And it saved a lot of energy. It was, the need for fossil fuels was done away with. And today, I would say most of the steel that is made in the country is done through direct charging route.
Why are the big players or the other, the other big players that are standing shouldered with you, why do you think they are unable to meet this demand? Where does this difference stem from?
See, players like Tata and JSW, they have huge manufacturing facilities. And their manufacturing process differs from ours. So LRF is something which is required in our line of work, in our process, the one that we follow. And we use scrap steel as well in order to improve our green rating. And so in order to consume that material, we are required to refine it. We, having multiple plants, where it is easier for us to innovate and to implement that R&D. And if it is good, then we just spread it throughout the entire group.
India has now shifted. We're not just limited to tier 1 cities anymore or metropolitans. We are originally and in a very quick manner eyeing tier 2 and tier 3 cities as capable markets as well, and especially when it comes to real estate. So people are going to places that are probably a lot more isolated than our general cities, and they want to start building there. So how do you think that shift has come in? The shift of people moving from tier 1 cities to tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. How do you map that?
So tier 2 and tier 3 person is in fact, he has more demand of development. The infrastructure over there is growing. Our government is pushing infrastructure over there. And people have been able to construct warehouses where material can be supplied there directly. In fact, it costs more to have a warehouse in tier 1 city rather than tier 2 and tier 3. So it is accessible for us also. And people can develop their, in the housing community, they can take that steel at a reasonable price and they can start building over there.
I want to also ask you about the future of Amba Shakti Group. What are you eyeing? And I mean, if you could touch upon the numbers a little bit, to sort of just, it becomes easier for us to also track the growth that you're speaking about.
So Amba Shakti right now does a turnover of about 3,000 to 3,500 crores.
Okay.
And in the next 2 years, we are looking to cross the 5,000 crore mark.
Okay.
And with the kind of expansions that we are planning right now, we should go beyond the 10,000 crore mark in the next 5 years.
Okay.
So that is our growth projection.
Okay.
And we are very excited for that, to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. And again, how are you planning that this will pan out in the next 10 years when you say that these are the numbers you're planning to hit? How does that happening? Expansion is the road to go?
Expansion, we are going to expand, and we are thinking of adding a new vertical towards our business. We want to command at least 2 more factors in the pricing strategy, and we hope that doing so, we will be able to grow faster, and we will be able to accommodate towards the competitive pricing in the market.
Okay, that sounds good. That was one explosive conversation that we had with Dhruv Goyal and Akshat Goyal, the managing directors of the Amba Shakti Group. They talk about what the next generation is looking at. They're also keeping intact what the older generations have handed them. And that culmination is exactly what makes this case study so interesting. On top of it, of course, green steel and sustainable energy. So all that and a lot more in the conversation that we just had with the managing directors of the Amba Shakti Group.
From housing demands to infrastructure corridors, the market is witnessing transformation across regions well beyond major metros. Now in Market Watch today, how the Ganga Expressway is reshaping Uttar Pradesh's real estate future. Here is a Market Watch.
Any mishaps happen on the highway, the vehicle for the rescue reaches to the help within seconds of time, so that the golden hours are kept into mind, and all the vehicles are kept in between such a distance where people can attend immediately.
Now, beyond infrastructure and investment, one of the biggest conversations in Indian real estate market continues to be accessibility and affordability. Now, in Clarity Corner today, we look at the growing challenge of affordable housing and why demand continues to rise, what's making homeowners difficult for many buyers, and what sector needs to truly make housing more accessible in India. Let's break it down.
Hello, this is Clarity Corner, and today we are talking about a dream that built modern India. Owning a home, not luxury, not aspiration at the top, but a simple, decent, affordable home. Home prices are rising, rents are rising, but incomes are not rising at the same pace. And the people most affected are not just the poorest. It is the middle, the first-time buyer, the young couple, the salaried Indian. Recent data tells us something really important. Home prices in India are expected to rise further. Demand is strong, but largely at the premium end. And that is the real problem. India does not have a demand problem. India has a viability problem today. A developer looks at land and makes a choice. Build affordable housing with lower margin, higher compliance, slower returns. Or just build premium housing with stronger margins, faster cash flows, and easier financing. The market has voted. Developers have moved upwards, buyers have been pushed outwards, and renters are kind of stuck in between. Now, let's be fair. The government has been taking some significant steps. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has been one of the most important housing missions in the country. The same PMAY 2.0 aims to support 1 crore families. Now, this is big, this is important. But my point is, subsidy alone cannot solve this problem, because this is not just a demand issue, it is a supply issue. So what went wrong? Land became too expensive, infrastructure did not reach everywhere where housing was affordable, approvals took time, and time increases cost. Definitions of affordability did not actually match city realities, and rental housing never became a serious alternative. So we built homes, but not ecosystems. A cheap home far from jobs is not affordable. It is expensive in another way. So what is the way forward? We need a new compact between government, developers, finance, and urban planning. Unlock more land, connect housing to infrastructure, and housing policy is moving, but it has to move faster with it. Here is the larger point. India's real estate sector is strong, demand is strong, premium housing is doing well, but a mature market cannot serve only a particular asset class or the top. And here is the opportunity. India is still in the early stages of urbanization. Infrastructure is expanding at an unprecedented pace. Transit corridors, new economic zones, digital approvals, institutional capital, these are not small shifts. Better connected communities, faster development cycle, and more inclusive growth. Affordable housing is not a constraint. It is India's next growth engine. This is Clarity Corner. I am Ashwinder R. Singh.
And that's all for this episode. As India's real estate and infrastructure landscape continues to evolve, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Connectivity, urban expansion, and changing buyer expectations are redefining the future growth across the country. We'll continue tracking every major shift shaping the sector. My name is Nayan. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next episode.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He is accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra, this Saturday evening. And in the next 25 minutes, we're going to bring you all the latest angles emerging in the autopsy botch-up of Twisha's death. Viewers, we will be bringing you the latest updates, what happened in the court today and what is the report saying, and the second mortem, the second post-mortem that's going to happen tomorrow. What do we expect in that? The discrepancies that have emerged as far as the scene of the incident is concerned. We'll tell you all that and much more. But first, a quick check of the headlines at 6 p.m.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Accused Samarth Singh produced in Bhopal court today. Court sends Samarth to 7-day police custody. Second autopsy for Tisha Sharma likely tomorrow. Medical board comprising of 4 senior doctors to conduct the second post-mortem. Operation Sheruvali is underway in Jammu and Kashmir. Army says contact established with terrorists in Valley. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi, invites the Prime Minister to White House on behalf of President Trump. We start with the statement coming in. The first statement coming in from Marco Rubio, US Secretary of State, who has just met the Prime Minister today in the national capital and delivered remarks at the US Embassy event. Rubio says that the two nations have focused on long-term goals. Indian companies have invested over 20 billion in the States. Now, the US Secretary of State has reiterated that the relationship between India and the United States has deepened. So let's take a listen into that statement of Marco Rubio.
It's a very, very nice introduction, and I want to thank all of you for being here today and what all of you do. First, I do want to recognize the work that Ambassador Gore's doing, who's a friend of mine before he came here. And we knew when he would come here, he would be a dynamo and he would have energy to the mission. And I hope you've perceived that. His excitement for the job is palpable. And you see it in the results. Second, I want to thank all of you to help us here in this mission. And let me begin, and I don't think our folks will be offended if I do this. I always begin by recognizing and thanking our locally employed staff. If you're here, I just want you to know you are an important part of our family. We could not do our job without you. They really are. I mean, they are the institutional memory. You know, our folks, as you know, rotate every 2 or 3 years. We come and go. We go back to D.C. They go to other places. They move on to other assignments. But every time a new officer comes in, every time someone new comes in, it is that institutional memory of the locally employed staff that allows us to avoid the early pitfalls, learn from the past, and hit the ground running. And so we're grateful to all of you for what you do. I want to comment about two things. First, about this building. I'm glad to be here. I believe in my, I know that in my year and a half as Secretary of State, it's the first new building that I get a chance to cut the ribbon on or inaugurate. So, and obviously this facility, because of all the upgrades it provides us, it makes it easier for you to do the job. But I think, as Ambassador Gore outlined a moment ago, the building stands as more than just brick and mortar. It's more than just the structure. It is, I hope, a sign of our commitment to this important relationship between the United States and India. It is, this relationship between our two countries is at the cornerstone of our approach to the Indo-Pacific. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but I was sworn in as Secretary of State on Tuesday or Wednesday. It was a Tuesday after the inauguration. Within the hour, I was at the State Department, spoke briefly, as is tradition, in the lobby of that building to our staff, and then went immediately upstairs to the 8th floor. And my first meeting, my very first meeting officially as Secretary of State, was a meeting of the Quad. And we were going to renew that. We did it again last year in a different setting, and we chose to do it here. We wanted to do it here, not just because of our commitment to that structure of work, but also as a tangible sign of what an important role India plays in the United States and in our posture and in our approach to the Indo-Pacific. Anchoring that is the relationship between the President and the Prime Minister. It's a personal relationship that dates back to the first administration when the President had a chance to visit here, and it has carried over into this second administration, and you can just see the connection between them, and I think that's incredibly important. It is. The connection between leaders is incredibly important. These are two very serious leaders that are focused not just on the short term, but on the long term, and so I think that that is important to note, because it's a key part of the foundation of the relationship between our countries. And just in the past year, we've seen this partnership deepen in ways that don't often make headlines or aren't splashy, but are important and real and tangible and enduring. We've expanded commercial ties now with more than $20 billion in investments. $20 billion in investments from Indian companies in the United States. We've deepened a security partnership through military exercises in the Indo-Pacific. And of course, as part of that, we recognize that an orderly and a secure consular system is vital to solidifying this important relationship. That's why we're introducing a new America First visa scheduling tool that prioritizes business professionals that strengthen these ties. And the facility, as I said, is not just for those that are applying for visas. It's also for you, the Americans who work here. The men and women of this mission who are at the front lines every single day of advancing America's national interest and in that America's national security. So it's an honor really to be here today. I wanted to keep this brief because it's hot. It's hot. Although it's not humid, like I'm from Miami, there's the humid hot and then there's this hot, but it's like, what time is it? It should be getting cooling off by now. And so I don't want to keep you here much longer than you need to be, but I want to say one thing. This facility saved Americans money because it's going to make us more efficient. It's going to allow us to do the work we have to do anyways, but allow us to do it more accurately, faster, and in a more efficient way. And so this is very important. And again, I want them to close by thanking the team here at the U.S. Embassy for your hard work, for your professionalism, for your patriotism. The work you do benefits your country and benefits Americans that are here, and ultimately Americans back home and across the globe. And it is at the cornerstone of this important partnership between us and India, which, as I said, is an incredibly important one. And it's the reason why I'm here in this visit, to reaffirm those ties, to build upon them. And we think in the months ahead, we're going to have even more exciting and new announcements to make about the development and the strengthening of the relationship between the two countries. And all of you will be at the forefront of that.
All right, that was Marco Rubio. Shifting focus now to the big story on Republic TV. Madhya Pradesh's Bhopal court today sent Samar Singh to 7-day police custody in a death case of his wife, Tisha Sharma. Meanwhile, the police has claimed that Samarth, today when they were arguing in court, they said that Samarth Singh is not cooperating with the investigation. And this just comes a day after Samarth, who had emerged before the public, reaching the Jabalpur court yesterday to surrender, but he was arrested. He was absconding for 10 days, viewers. He's been on the run since his wife, Tisha, has been found was allegedly found dead, or she had died. And we will be continuing to get you more updates, news alerts telling us today that Samarth Singh has been sent to 7-day police custody. And Samarth has also surrendered his passport as per... We have a reporter joining us live. Okay, Harsh is joining us live on the broadcast for more. Harsh, tell us more details about what's really happening as far as this entire, courtroom proceeding is concerned today, and what are we expecting next?
Right, Rakshita, a lot is happening. In fact, a four-member team from AIIMS Delhi will be traveling to Bhopal, and the second post-mortem will be carried out tomorrow. This is a big development that we are breaking for our viewers on Republic TV. Also, Samarth Singh, the primary accused in this case, has been sent for 7-day police custody. He has been given time to speak to his lawyers before he speak up about his case. And on Monday at 2:30 p.m., the Jabalpur bench of the Madhya Pradesh High Court will also, in fact, hear the rejection plea of the anticipatory bail that has been given to Giribala Singh, who is the second accused in the case, the former judge who is not cooperating in the investigation. This is what has been said by the authorities, and this will be also a very crucial hearing on Monday at 2:30 p.m. where Solicitor General Tushar Mehta as well as the Attorney General of the Government of Madhya Pradesh, Prashant Singh, will be representing the Government of Madhya Pradesh, demanding the cancellation of the anticipatory bail that is given to Giribala Singh by a lower court in Bhopal earlier. And we